farmer, friend, singer-songwriter, Lyal Strickland.
And that's farmer, friend, and jack of all trades, Chris Horn.
And we're Those Tastebud Guys. Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining us one more time. We're Those Tastebud Guys. That's Lyal. I'm Chris. Jared's off camera.
Yeah,
that's it. So we're doing something we haven't done in quite a while, and I don't know why, other than just
it slipped our minds.
It hasn't presented itself, and we've been in a different mode, and we haven't been doing any Scotch.
We just forgot. We just plain forgot.
And we've had this bottle for 3 months.
Yeah, and it's not a bottle that necessarily needs to be salivated over or saved. It's just we just haven't gotten to it.
No. So anyways,
today,
we're going to do that today. Right after you like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and all those good things.
Yeah.
And, give us a quick like on all those places and follow us around. That'd be great.
And shoot us a comment on the videos. Yeah. I particularly enjoy reading the comments. So, just saying. I don't think I've ever opened a bottle of this. I think I've only had it at bars and at friends' houses and stuff.
I think I agree with you. I don't know that I have either.
What are we working with? I think we've.
This is a Glenlivet 12, right?
Yeah.
12. So the big discussion about this is it says Speyside on the front of it.
Does it?
Doesn't it?
No, I think it says Highland, right?
Oh, it says Highland. Okay, well, that's where we was.
Actually, you know what?
Doesn't say either. So if you remember a while back, we did.
I've only known this as a Highland Scotch my entire life.
But it's in the Speyside region.
Yes.
Yeah. So we did Aberlour here a while back, and half the bottles say Speyside and half the bottles say Highland, which is what made us realize Speyside is a little bitty area inside of the Highland area of Scotland, which is way up north of the main body of the actual country.
Yeah.
So that made us start thinking about this one, and this one is located within the Speyside region, but apparently it still normally likes to call itself Highland, but it doesn't actually say it on there. You're right.
Yeah, I think they've changed their marketing strategies, which goes back to the Aberlour, is that, like, I don't know what the better strategy is. More people are probably familiar with a Highland Scotch rather than a Speyside.
I prefer Islays.
Well, I do as well, but
like the Lafroig episode.
But the Speyside is a little, when it says Speyside, it seems a little different, a little more unique. But this one, they seem to have just dropped it all together.
So, reason I said I thought it said Speyside is because normally I think they said Highland. So
yeah.
I assumed when he was talking about that it said Speyside.
Yeah.
And it is in the lower part of the Speyside region, which is just a little square box at the top that they just decided, hey, this is ours. So I was making an assumption. Anyways. All right. Either way, that's where it's at. This is I don't know. I guess it's a loaner bottle. He's never took it back home. Colby brought us.
Yeah. This is, for those of us living in the States, this is a classic standard of the bar. If you ask for a Scotch at any bar in America, you're probably going to get Dewar's, you're going to get Glenlivet, and Johnny Walker. Probably, can you think of another one? There's probably another one.
Yeah, but it's probably the big ones, though.
But that's what's going to be available. It's like asking for a beer and they go, we have Bud, Miller, and Coors.
So,
I have not had this in a long time.
I haven't either.
Probably wants a little pour there.
To pour Jared over.
You have to pour the off-camera guests,
So, yeah, if you're ever in Buffalo, you want to come down, shoot us a message. For doing it that night, you can swing by. The thing I always go to about these Highland type scotches is they're not as smoky. They're not as big and bold and slap you around like Lafroig and some of those others do.
Which is what I consider some of the Japanese scotches to be hearkening back to, is Highland style.
Yeah, no, I thought you were saying they was more like the island. I was like, no. I disagree totally.
Like Suntory is similar to this style, that sort of smooth.
Yeah, these are lighter. I don't want to say more complex. They may or may not necessarily be, but they're lighter, more airier, and they almost feel like they've been left out a little bit. And, if you're thinking about Lafroig and some of the big, fat scotches. Now, on the other hand, I will say if you have been if you've had a chance to have a Scotch, and let's say it was one of the Islas, and you was like, oh my God, tastes like campfire, I hate Scotch.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe you should move a little bit north and try it again. Try some of the Highland Scotches, try some of the Japanese Scotches.
Yeah.
It might be a lot closer to your wheelhouse. This is going to have more of a woody texture or nose and taste than rather than the smoke.
If you happen to be a fan of Irish whiskeys, I would point you towards a Highland Scotch.
It's going to be a little harsher than Irish whiskeys, but yes.
Mm-hmm. But it's that same sort of thin back palate.
All right, so what do you got on nose?
I almost took a drink of it. I get a little bit of lemon and some little butterscotch notes.
Man, for once we almost agree on stuff. So there's that little bit of light smoke and wood.
Yeah.
Now, where you said lemon, I was going to say an orange.
Yep.
But still citrus type note in there.
Uh-huh.
So I guess if you want to be a little more bland about it, a citrus type note. I agree with the butterscotch.
Yeah, that sweetness is kind of a light caramel.
Almost a honey.
Butterscotch.
Almost a honey in there for that sweetness.
Now, the honey note really does come through.
It does.
on the taste.
It does. Now, I just got through drinking something that was fairly sweet, so that first drink tasted a little bitter to me on the side of my tongue. Mm-hmm. It was a little bit. Yeah. Oh wait, I probably should have cleansed my palate a little better.
Get this man some ginger.
Yeah. So, actually, I'm gonna try again before I go to talking. If you want to take off.
Well, I will say this. I used to drink this when I was younger. This was my night-ending drink. If you saw me with a glass of Scotch, I'd probably had too many. And I was definitely trying to slow down and just hang out and chill out and soak in the atmosphere.
That's because they're charging you $14 a glass for it.
Yep, and that'll do it. But I kind of moved away from that when I discovered Lafroig and some of the Islay Scotches. And I like that big, woody, smoky flavor. I kind of moved away from this, but I have to say, it's kind of nice tonight. It's kind of hitting the spot.
Well, the whole reason we brought this bottle down is because nothing was quite going where we wanted tonight. And I mentioned that I wished we'd have had
more
Scotch out. And he reminded me, hey, we've got the one Colby gave us. Let's get it down. So what we did. It is kind of scratching an itch tonight.
Yeah, and this is not an incredibly pricey bottle of Scotch. This is an approachable bottle of Scotch. I mean, what's this run? 30, 40?
I think about $40 if I remember right. I could be right. It was on the banner. I haven't looked it up in a while. Again, it was
that is
bought here by somebody for us.
An easy for Scotch, especially. That is an easy, approachable price point because usually Scotches, in my own recollection, seem to run higher than most other liquors.
Well, they do have to come clear across the pond.
Yeah.
So, okay, so besides this, the funny thing that they said is they can come over here and buy it cheaper in the States than they can buy it in their own country because the taxing's so high when they sell it there.
That's crazy.
And that's absolutely crazy.
They must drink a lot of bourbon there.
You think that's why it works? It might be. Okay, so on the flavor, we get the smoke, wood, honey. What else you got? And the smoke, of course, is a peat, but it's not terribly strong. It'd be strong if you was comparing it to a bourbon. It's not strong comparing it to a Scotch.
I think that just about nails it. It has a nice finishing sweet note to it that just kind of makes you go and try to taste your own tongue.
So you're not going to get into that dirty leather. Does that not come through for you?
Like leather tannins kind of in the background?
Yeah, like a saddle leather. I hate to use that because that's a super typical way of describing it, but I don't know how else to bring that point across.
No, that's fair. That note is in there. That's something that I enjoy. So it's something I gloss over a fair bit. I mean, yes, Scotches in general, I think, are always going to have that leathery aspect.
How do we not have water up here? We did good, didn't we? All right. I guess we're not going to try this one on water. Because I think the closest bottle of water is way at the other end of this building. So
I will say that this, much like Bushmills, in my memory, over the rocks or with a water back, doesn't do much. It just kind of dissipates.
It goes down, it just turns into just a very fast drink.
Which is not a bad thing if that's what you're into, although I would say there are cheaper ways to do that.
But I actually like stuff like this over, like Bushmills. I love putting it over ice. It's a fantastic way to drink a light whiskey if you're wanting to move along with it.
Bushmills, at least the white label, is about $15 cheaper a bottle.
Probably, yeah.
Well, maybe not 15. 10 at least.
Yeah.
So, just saying. All in all, this is a nice memory from my past, and I am pleasantly surprised that it has actually gained credit in my book from what I had recollected.
I'm kind of on the same page with you for once. It's I'm the same way. I didn't hold high hopes, but it's not. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna blow your mind. It's a nice entry into Scotch.
Yeah.
If you don't like smoke and stuff, it might not necessarily be the thing to get into, but you know.
All right. Well, until next time.
Whether it's the Scotch you're reapproaching,
the food you're eating,
clothes you're wearing,
or the people you're meeting, grab a buddy and try something new.